beautiful loves. Happy new moon. Today we have the new moon in Virgo with quite a few aspects, and the sun moved into Virgo. So when we have the new moon, it's when we have the moon and the sun in the same sign. So it's a bit of like Virgo season at the moment. And so before we dive into it, I just thought I'd explain a bit of what the Virgo energy is like. So the Virgo energy is an earth element, so it brings in that grounding factor, but it is very analytical. So often if you had to meet someone who's Virgo, they're very organized. They're like, my teacher once said, they're like the proofreaders, they can go through and edit and stuff like that because they see the details. They're able to hone in on details and get organized and do that analytics and the discernment and that sort of vibe. The shadow or lower octave of the Virgo energy is perfectionism, workaholic. It's also someone that overthinks. So it's like that energy of so in the details that you can't zoom out and see the bigger picture. And so that's like, can't see, the wood for the trees for the wood type energy. So the Virgo energy can be that. And often we speak about all of these things, but Virgo energy is also very body. So while you have the Taurus energy, which is the body, Virgo brings in that health, the healing, the being very health conscious. Like, how can you help your body to heal? How are you in tune with your body's needs with that energy? And obviously the octave is the hypochondria. So that's sort of that feeling of like really being able to drill down and go into the real details of stuff. So this new moon has that element of, we can really, and because the new moon is, there's darkness, so it's really, can we go into ourselves? And when I chat, like the aspects that we have helps to understand the framing of this. So we have quite a few aspects, and they're all, I would say, slightly challenging. This is not the easiest of new moons per se, not that there's like an easy or non-easy. It's just this one really is asking you to go into the details, really asking you to drill in order to come out. So when we look at the aspects, what we have is the sun and the moon, they're conjunct to make the new moon, and both of them are squaring Mars. So the Mars is in Gemini, which we've spoken about that analytical vibe. So you've now got all this mental energy, details, that sort of thing, but Mars being our vitality, and that's in a square is normally, when you have squares, you have that challenge, they play off, there's something that needs to be done. So while there's this urge to go, that Gemini, there's almost this, well, what do we need? Questioning everything, like, oh, I don't know, what are the details? Have we actually really drilled into stuff? Do we know what we want to do? So this thing of, I just get the message of really needing to take a step back in order to take the steps forward, is what this moon energy feels like. It's like you really need to take back, look at the big picture, but also drill into the details, so that Mars energy is going to feel like you're a bit like that. I want to create this, I want to do this, I have all this, the Gemini do multiple things, and the Virgo is coming, no, let's step back, let's look at that from both your sun, your energy, as well as your moon, your emotions and stuff. So there could also be that thing of being too critical about all the stuff you want to do, so caution of that. But at the same time, we have Venus opposite Saturn, and they are both squaring Uranus. And so Venus opposite Saturn is, once again, we're having very much this like wanting to be out there, wanting to have, almost like we want to have everything now. Venus was the abundance, this is our beauty, this is our dreams, and that Saturn is sort of that taskmaster, being like, well, have you done the work? So you want this, but have you done the work type energy. Uranus is wanting to break free, so that you can see, once again, there's this struggle, there's this like, have you really gone in and done the inner work? Have you been prepared to look at the inner work? And we also have Pluto sextiling Neptune. And so what is interesting is we Pluto, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus are all in retrograde. So retrograde is, we're supposed to be in the inward space here. We're supposed to be looking at the finer details. We're supposed to be looking at how are we getting to the big picture? What does the big picture mean? Why do we want these dreams? Are these dreams something because if you think you're going to get that, it will make this better? You know, if you think that, but if that comes into my world, then all of this will be fixed. But actually, why do you have this? You know, why do you have this struggle? What do you really need to do to fix that? You know, what do you really need to go into? What do you need to heal, you know, in order for it to become that? And Virgo is about the healing. It's going into that deep inner layer and being like, oh, yeah, those are my triggers. Those are my wounds. This is my pain. So what I'm sitting in and with and seeing all that and then not getting bogged down in it, but going, okay, but we can make a plan. Virgo's really great at making plans, getting organized, being like, cool, you know, maybe I need to get external support and help. Maybe I need to create these routines in my life. Maybe I need to change these habits. You know, this is what this Virgo energy and this new moon is going. You can have it all. The Pluto and Neptune is saying, these are the big dreams. You need to let go of the old in order to step in the new. You need to really let go of what is holding you back. You need to let go of the old dated beliefs. If you want the big freedom, if you want all of that, what are you doing? So, like, you know, if you can get this energy, it can feel really like, it can feel quite sucky actually, because you're like, really? More inner work? Really? Shadow stuff? Like everyone keeps talking shadow stuff, but like I feel like I'm doing it and it doesn't feel like it's getting anywhere. You know, that could also be there. And then that's sort of taking a step back of like, not harsh, because Virgo can be very critical, but also then having that deep compassion that actually you are healing. You know, the external stuff comes last. This internal work, which can feel muggy and bogged down and that sort of thing, takes time. So really for me, and the thing I've sort of been feeling into the last few days is your body is, and not just the last few days, but it's come up quite a bit for me and stuff that I've been processing. This body is so wise. This body is what your soul has chosen as its vessel. Your body, your soul has chosen it as this vessel. So it has this innate wisdom. It has the ability that if you're prepared to ask the questions, if you're prepared to be curious, stuff will come up. And when that stuff comes up, it's not for you to be like stuck in it. It's for you to go, oh, cool. I didn't know that I was still holding on to that, or I didn't realize that that was how I thought of that, or that's really interesting. So how can I take that awareness and what can I do to support the body to make it feel safe, to make it be able to take the next steps and then allow the perception to change? This is what the moon is. For me, it's really allowing that to go in. And another thing I really noticed about that, and why I'm really saying you need to be able to develop this relationship with your body, and you really need to be able to ask yourself the harsh questions, not from the analytics, not from like the perfectionism and, oh my God, I have to fix in it, from the ability because you want to heal, because you know you can heal, you know you can up level, you know you can get that, and you're prepared to put in that time and that effort. Is until about 20th of October, somewhere there, so like late-ish October, besides for Pisces and the South Node, which are all very much collective planets, we don't have any planets in water signs. And so there can be, and even at this moon, a tendency to be up here, very much in our minds, that energy of that, and not allowing the emotions to be able to come up, not feeling into that stuff. And so there is this awareness when we're in the Virgo, which is the earth, is how are we grounding in and still coming back to the emotions? How are we coming back to our heart space? So, I mean, we're talking about the new moon energy, but this is just something to be aware of, because, you know, with less than about just under 2 months, we don't have, you know, this personal planets in the water signs. And so for me, it's like, well, make sure that we're not bypassing the emotions, making sure that we're not so in the head and thinking we can process only through the head. No, we need to be in the heart. We need to be in the body. We need to come back to this. So that's really what's coming up for me, is sort of we're now in this space, and also because we're in such deep retrograde season, I think it's from mid-September, most of the planets will be in retrograde. And so it's really like, it can be easy to be caught up in the stories in the head. It can be easy to go into all the details, be distracted by everything that, Mars, Gemini, Virgo energy, like really up here. But we can come back to self. We can come back to the body. And that's what really is key for me, is using this energy to be aware that there's so much that you could allow to come up out of the subconscious, but how are you going to integrate it and really allowing that in? So when we hit, because the next water season will be Scorpio, and that's really allowing us to go into the depths. So how are we creating the foundation to allow us to go into the depths of those emotions when we're in Scorpio season from a safe place? All of these things, when we work with the energy, allows us to prepare. And not that we'll ever know, it's not a what's the word I'm looking for? It's not like, oh, this will happen, but it's like, if you have awareness and you're able to work with the energies, then you just allow yourself to flow with the seasons and the cycles. And so that, my love, is the invitation, is to allow yourself to ask those detailed questions, not get attached to over analyzing the details, but asking it, creating the foundation and structure, and finding the way of coming home to your body, allowing it to be your teacher, allowing it to give you the wisdom, instead of thinking that you have to search for it out externally, because it's all within you. So my loves, sending you so much love, so much grace, so much compassion, and I will chat to you soon. Bye, angels.